It's June 28th, 2024, and we are packing up from cycle camp. I guess this is the first part of the trip to Alaska. We'll be stopping in Seattle for a couple of days and then on to Acme and leaving on the 1st. But as we load up and I waken the dog, we shall get on the road. Last year, my brother and I bought a couple of extremely high-performance motorcycles, and I can't wait to ride them when we get to Alaska. Getting off the Olympic Peninsula from my favorite place, Cycle Camp, we're heading into Seattle. Spend a couple days here. First, crossing a couple bridges to get onto Bainbridge Island, and I absolutely have a thing about bridges. I love them. I don't know what it is. It's just fun. And from Bainbridge Island, we take the ferry on into Seattle. Izzy seems to be a seasoned ferry rider now and actually seems to enjoy it. She sits there staring off the edge with the wind in her face. And here we are on July 1st in Acme, Washington, ready to make the big jump off to Canada and eventually on to Alaska. So hopefully the border crossing goes simply today and we can Well, the border crossing wasn't exactly quite this. Meet the nicest people in Canada. You can see that right here. And Izzy picked up a little friend. Yesterday, after 500 miles, we made it to Prince George, BC. Today we will be heading off to Smithers, which will be a much lighter run. But somebody is still tired and not really wanting to wake up quite yet. There was still a lot of signs of the extensive burning last year in British Columbia, and we saw our first of several moose. This might be one of the saddest things to look into. And here we get ready to go up the Stuart Cacher. First bear sighted, and the second bear sighted. I'll put these in slow motion so they're a little easier to follow. These first few bears were pretty much afraid of the motorcycle. We'll get to one a little bit later, not so much. Here we have Izzy chilling, pretty much as Izzy always does. I really don't mind graded bridges all that much, even with knobby tires, but why we had to go behind such a slow pilot car and why there was a guy hosing it off in the middle, that just made it a little bit more fun. Well, good morning. The plan had been to go to Smithers yesterday, but once we got to Smithers, I just kept on rolling, and we ended up doing another 400-mile day. We are now at Mazedon Junction in a campground. Wasn't too expensive, Provincial Park campground. I'm kind of sticking to these, even though they're not free, because we don't want to get dealing with all the freaking bears that are around here. Oh, my hair looks great this morning. That's tremendous. Good morning. Today we're going to go to Dease Lake. It's only about 230 miles. Yeah, it is kind of expensive, but the next run is well over 500 miles. So if I knock this off, then we can go to Whitehorse the next day and get on into Tok. But I just want to get into the Yukon and get into Alaska in the next couple days. So anyway, that's where we are, and we'll be climbing back on the bike as soon as I wake the Biscuit up. We're not in any big hurry because we do have just, like 4 hours of riding. I think it's 232 miles, I believe. Anyway, quick trip, and we will keep an eye out for all the bears on the road. Action cams make things appear less steep than they are, so you can imagine what a bozo this guy was. I have him zoomed in. I'm not that close, passing on the most blind section imaginable. This is Izzy with her friend Bo. We met at a rest stop. Izzy makes friends everywhere. Then we stopped in Jade City on the Cassiar Highway and looked at all the beautiful jade things and giant jade stones, which were actually, the ones out front were bigger than me. The Stewart Cassiar Highway is really desolate. Not a lot of cars. Sometimes you think you're going to see more bears than cars. It's a close ratio, but it's just absolutely beautiful. And we finally arrived in the Yukon. Well, I did it again. I was going to stop at Dease Lake yesterday in a short ride, and I got to Dease and just kind of kept on going another couple 100 miles. And we got west of Watson Lake about 40 miles. So waking up this morning, we are now headed to about probably 150 miles west of Whitehorse. That'll put us a couple, maybe 150 miles from the Alaska border, where we will go to Tok tomorrow. I hear the road is just a mess. So not looking forward to that. It's a little chilly, and we are plugging along, and that's about it. But I don't know how much scenery there is along here, but I will catch whatever footage I can and put it on. I don't have a big issue with graded bridge decks and knobby tires, which are not a great combination, but the bridge at Teslin just goes on and on and on and on and on, and the bike goes, sort of dances around you, underneath you, and you just realize it's not going to fall over and turn this bridge into a cheese grater on your body, but it's an interesting bridge, that's for sure. And after the Teslin Bridge, it was necessary to order up some French fries with gravy and cheese, which the Canadians insist on naming. And then we come to the bear with no fear. Not good. There was a lot of spectacular scenery as we headed towards our next campground. The road conditions were sort of on and off, but still looking pretty good. Enjoying ourselves a lot and taking it all in. There had been a number of grizzly encounters at local campgrounds, so we opted for this one that was extra grizzly protected. Well, we found a great, interesting campground tonight. Apparently, the grizzly bear activity has been so high that they built an electrified tent enclosure, and all of us that are camping out get to stay with this enclosure, which is actually pretty cool. Traveling alone, often meet some really interesting people. This friend, a new friend, is named Les. He's from London, Ontario. He's a Polish man, really good rider and really good friend. We had a great couple days together. Is he shaking? Cause that's why. Le bonnet. Is he? You want that bunny, don't you? The scenery continued to be absolutely amazing as we traveled along. Road conditions were varied. I mean, nothing was really, really bad, but it was pretty much a cycle of potholes, frost heaves, gravel, pavement, and cycle, rinse, and repeat over and over and over. It was nothing really challenging, and sometimes really entertaining. I kind of like the variation, makes the time go faster. So we did the last couple hundred miles up to the Alaska border, and this is pretty much where we will end part one. So for now, it's welcome to Alaska, and we will prep the fire breathing beasts for our trip into the wild. Hope to see you on part two.